I'm angry. I'm really mad right now. Granted, I'm mad for other reasons that have nothing to do with this video, but today I'm gonna offer the cartoon community a public service. So what inspired me to make this video was a fellow YouTuber, ASK Air, got a copyright claim on one of his recent videos, and he's been trying to re-upload the same video, I think 8 times at this point. And the thing is, I've seen this happen many times. I've witnessed cartoon reviewers having to re-edit their videos after getting a claim, and it always hurts to see because I know exactly how it feels to re-upload a video. For one, the video usually performs worse and your channel ends up losing a number of gained views, let's not even bring up the revenue. And two, comments end up disappearing as a result of it. Because of that, I feel the need to help some of you content creators and give you more encouragement to, instead of re-uploading videos, dispute the claims instead. Now, there seems to be 2 prevalent reasons for why I don't see people doing that. 3 if you count the possibility that maybe they just don't know, and if you didn't, well, you can. But the first one has to do with the fear of getting a copyright strike. There's a lot of fear in people's minds when they consider the idea of confronting copyright strikes because of the horror stories out there, including instances of people risking losing their channels. Now, I'm just gonna say this. Unless your channel already has 1 and especially 2 copyright strikes, there's no reason to fear getting a copyright strike. You'd be surprised by how little getting 1 struck affects your channel. The most inconvenient thing you'll have to deal with is completing a copyright quiz, which is piss easy. Now, if let's say you previously in the past received 2 copyright claims and you're in the middle of disputing them, in a case like that, I do actually recommend stalling and wait until you've dealt with both of them, because if all of your appeals end up leading to you eventually receiving 3 strikes, your channel will go away, so be wary of your risks. But if you don't have any of that, it's really not a big deal to have 1 strike. I've had single strikes many times since 2016. Hell, there was this one time a single company gave a strike to 2 of my videos at the same time, and YouTube counted it as just 1 individual strike. Additionally, the strikes are only temporary. If they accept your appeal, which they eventually will, the strike will get removed, which brings me to the second reason people usually give up on counterclaims, which is that a lot of people are intimidated by big companies. What if they continue to deny your appeals and they get to a point where they take legal action? That's a perfectly fair concern, and it's not like hiring a lawyer is cheap or anything, all because of a YouTube video, nonetheless. But here's the thing though, that's not gonna happen, ever. If your video is a review, commentary, satire, or anything like that, no one is gonna take legal action. If you can justify the usage of the copyrighted material in your videos and justify why they were purposeful for the subject of the video, then it really doesn't matter how many times they deny your appeal. Eventually, they're going to drop the claim. No company out there would have the balls to sue a small content creator on a case that they know they're in the wrong. And that's another thing. If your video ends up getting claimed or something like that, don't think that the reason that happened was because someone at one of those companies watched your review of a cartoon and thought it was infringing copyright. A lot of the times what ends up happening is there's some kind of bot or mass claiming operation to combat clips of cartoons flooded on YouTube. Don't be surprised if your video gets claimed and no one that works in the production company is even aware of the existence of the video. The thing is, YouTube has so many videos, too much for any normally functioning human being to keep track of, which is why they have Content ID in place, an AI that has a library of copyrighted content uploaded into the system and used to detect videos on YouTube and automatically claim them. But of course, it's not always reliable, so what ends up happening is the companies themselves have their own operations designed to claim a massive amount of videos on YouTube, and no one on their team has to do the job of manually monitoring every video that contains copyrighted material of them. The problem with relying on bots though is that they're not human, they can make mistakes, and when that happens, you have to dispute their errors. So even if it boils down to you using your last appeal available, if it gets to the point where their only solution is no longer warning you that you're infringing copyright and instead they have to take legal action, someone has to intervene and release the strike. If they don't intervene, then the strike will get released 10 days later and you're good to go. If there were actual people monitoring every video on YouTube, they would have released the claim immediately, because unlike amateur and ignorant independent content creators who haven't done research, big companies have a legal team that actually studied law and understand the basics of fair use, and no one in the right mind would think it would be a good idea to sue a YouTuber for uploading a review. Lawsuits are hella expensive, and I can't imagine the public backlash they would receive as a result of it. I mean, this is a bit of a different situation, but just think of the time Microsoft sued a person called Mike Rowe just because he ran a site called MikeRowe.com. Microsoft got blasted publicly, and any sane company would know to avoid that. I'm going to give you the same advice YMS did years ago. Write a text containing all of the arguments for why your video falls under fair use. Save that text on some note on your computer just in case you ever need to use it again. And when the time comes, just copy and paste the same schmeal. If you want, you can just recycle what I've written. It works every time. I've never lost a copyright dispute, and I know I never will unless I really did breach copyright laws and the video really doesn't fall under fair use. But since all of my videos are critical and opinionated, I don't think I need to be concerned with that. Anyway, I hope this helps, just trying to help fellow content creators, and that's all. Goodbye.